Hey everyone, this is Zarik from Knights of the Onion, and I've got my friend Will here from the Three Amiibros. How's it going, Will?
It's going pretty despairfully now that we finished Danganronpa V3.
Despairific? What?
Okay, can we get the elephant out of the room right now? What we need is a dancing all night long version of this game so that we can see freaking Kokichi and Suichi breakdancing it out to the Scrum Debate theme. That's all I'm asking for.
I'm still waiting for the Arc System Works Blaze Blue fighting game.
Yeah, I'd be also happy with that.
Oh, yeah, no.
But hey, folks, welcome to our chat about Danganronpa V3. Just to, actually get the elephant out of the room.
This is
going to
our
be a
V3 spoiler cast.
Yeah, this is going to be a spoiler-heavy discussion. And not just about V3, I imagine we're going to be discussing the other games, just naturally, when we chat about V3's events.
And the anime as well. So if you have not played Danganronpa 1, Super Danganronpa 2, Ultra Despair Girls, or seen all of the anime, go do those now because you're kind of missing out on a lot of really fun video game.
Yeah, beyond spoilers, this chat just won't make sense to you. So,
and if you are playing V3, we will be breaking the cast up into segments based on chapter, so you can follow along while you play. Hey.
Yeah, that's right. So where should we start? Should we start with the demo, actually?
So the demo and prologue kind of fit in hand to hand, I'd say. Mm-hmm. So, but first I want to talk about, alright, so initial impressions, the anime's done. Will, did you ever see any more Danganronpa coming out?
You mean coming out after V3?
No, after the anime. Like when the end of Hope's Peak Academy aired, and the Hope arc ended. Did you ever guess that there would be another Danganronpa?
No, because it ended on such a clean note. It wrapped up every single storyline, every single character arc that was ever started to be developed since the first game. And they Spike Chunsoft wrapped it up nice and neat with a bow on top. And it was just that final shot in the anime, when Kirigiri and Makoto have their moment in the new school. It's that's it. That was Danganronpa from start to finish. That's all we needed. Right? I didn't see anything coming out after that, but once he got to the end of V3, it's it's still the ending of the anime is still the ending of the anime, so to speak.
Yep, no, the anime ended perfectly, and I also never thought that there would be any more Danganronpa. So when V3 was announced, I was super excited. Overwhelmingly, I'm oh my god, how?
Yeah, and that was when they teased these three main characters in the original artwork, which is actually the alternate artwork in the cover. The cover art for the games, which you pointed out to me, Zarik. Thank you for that.
The inside cover sleeve of the game. Okay, so yeah. I never saw the initial promotional art, but I did notice that of the main characters that were shown. So I saw a lot of Kaede, I saw a lot of Maki, and I saw a lot of Kibo.
Right, yeah. Kibo and Maki were promoted the most, and at that point, Maki had greener hair up until close to the game's release when they gave her more of a brunette look. And of course, but like Kaede became the front and center star about a year leading up to release. So oh boy, does that lead us into chapter 1?
That does not. No, we still have to. Yeah, we have to pace ourselves. Will we can't blow our despair heads so early.
I'm sorry, I can't help but to talk about best waifu. What's next on the list?
But for Kaede, I mean, she does star center stage in both the demo and the prologue, so we can give a good bit about Kaede Akamatsu.
That's right. Yes, in the demo, Kaede is the protagonist, but we also get 2 other protagonists introduced.
Very familiar ones, I'd say.
Yeah. We get Makoto Naegi, because he's Makoto, and he just has to be in there. And we also get the protagonist from Danganronpa 2.
Hinata Hajime?
Yes, the Hajime. And it's very meta, the demo. Right away they break, like, not really break the fourth wall, but the fact that Makoto and Hajime are your sidekicks in the demo, it's sort of like, okay, what's going on here? Where does this take place? Is this another is this another like computer simulation that the characters are going through for rehab?
That was what I was wondering too. Like, it was like almost a training course almost for new Danganronpa students. And if you think about how it ties into the ending, that's actually also pretty spot on too.
Oh boy, yeah. Was that?
Was it? We'll have to come back to that later.
Yeah, we will.
So you read the demo. You wake up in the classroom and introduced. Basically, the demo gives you a chance to get used to controls, the exploration of the school, meeting all of the new characters, and kind of getting a feel for how the in-between class trials go. But it didn't let you do an investigation.
No, which I think was appropriate for at least the demo, because the investigation is arguably no, I would say the free time is the slowest parts of the game. But the investigations they were pretty tight in the game itself, but in Danganronpa 1 and 2, they were pretty slow and not the most intuitive. They were sort of like how the Phoenix Wright games handled investigations in the earlier games, before like certain objects were easily identifiable as things you could investigate. Danganronpa V3 does a great job though of letting you know what you need to investigate before you're done with a room. Yeah, so I'm glad they cut that out of the demo and just went straight for the trial, because like if you're gonna hook an audience like that, the trial is what everyone's playing for. Like that's what I play Danganronpa for. Oh
yeah, and they showed off all of the new kind of things. Like they brought back Hangman's Gambit, but they introduced the Psych Taxi and the, like, I guess puzzle block one. Like, what would you call that one?
Oh, the one where you're breaking the blocks?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it's really weird to describe. It's sort of like Minesweeper in a way. But instead of numbers, you're like using colors. And you have to like match. Is Tetris a better way to describe that?
I'm sure there is a puzzle game that exists that is that. I wouldn't know, because it also, like, whenever you pick a color, it flips the ones around it. So, like, a Minesweeper, Tetris kind of clear 'em all thing.
Yeah, a hybrid between those two might be the best way to describe it. Did they introduce the Scrum debate though in the demo?
They did not. The Scrum debate, that's the swordplay, right?
Scrum debate is when you have the two sides split and the courtroom metamorphosizes. I don't remember how Monokuma describes it. They get sent into like that upper chamber, and they debate. They're just split into two sides.
Okay, yeah, that and the swordplay I don't believe were in the demo. So seeing those in the first chapter was a very welcome, like, breath of fresh air.
Right.
They didn't like show everything off right away. There were still secrets to learn.
Yes, yeah. And the swordplay minigame was introduced in Danganronpa 2.
Oh, that's right. I just forgot about it.
Right, yeah.
I don't remember a lot of Danganronpa 2.
The new KnightCast was sorry, the new mini games introduced in this game were specifically Psych Taxi and the Brick Breaker one. I'm curious as to what you thought about Psych Taxi though.
So besides the fact that Psych Taxi drags on a little bit too long each time, I like what it kind of implies. How you ask yourself a question, and then the answer of that leads to, okay, well, let me illuminate from that answer. Let me eliminate the other processes of doubt. Because this is true, what does this lead to?
Yes. I've always wondered what the hell is the protagonist like doing in real time while their mind is in Psych Taxi mode. That's sort of the only thing going through my head, because otherwise, like, I find it's a pretty fun mechanic. I mean, it's a driving mini game for those who don't know.
You go down a road very cruisin' style. If anyone remembers the cruisin' games, like from old arcades.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And you have to hit these very Mario Kart 64-ish blocks.
Yeah, Mario Kart 64 blocks, and you have to dodge the other cars.
Yeah, you have to dodge the other cars, and then once you collect all the blocks, if you collect them within the allotted amount of time, then you complete the question, and then you have to answer the question by ramming into a pedestrian on the road that represents either the right answer or the wrong answer.
Hey, those are drag race honeys.
It's such a weird mechanic, but like, the mini game was nice. I actually liked all the mini games in V3 except for Hangman's Gambit.
Hangman's Gambit doesn't give you enough information to form a possible answer half the time. I feel that way.
Well, not only that, but like the answer can be like a number of different things. Like you could like say the answer is I don't know, for example, like a hat. And the answer is actually, no, it's a cap. And, like, just little things like that will throw you off. And it's like, oh, God, that's what I was thinking.
Like, oh, geez. Oh, it's 2 words. 2-word Hangman Gambit. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It's Hangman's Gambit. I think that was the weakest part of the game, to be honest. I gamed over in, like, case 3 because at one point I just gave up and started choosing letters at random.
Case 3 got it for me too. There were a couple parts in that case that were a little rough. But yeah, the demo ends. It just sort of like cuts itself off, and we're just left waiting for the actual game release.
Yeah, which was only like a few weeks later. Like it
was good timing for the demo.
Yes,
very good time.
Especially
what do you think about the start, the pre-prologue?
The pre-prologue of the game itself. Now we're talking.
Yes.
Okay. So now we're talking. Okay, so before the characters get their ultimate looks.
Yep, their outfits, their main character costumes.
I thought, okay, having played Persona 4 and all the other Danganronpa games, I thought, okay, this is gonna be one of those stories where the game is telling us everything we need to know about the mystery right here and now. And then we're going to forget all about it throughout the course of the game. And then at the very end of the game, they're going to reintroduce this and be like, see, we told you from the start what was going on, but you just weren't looking close enough. And lo and behold, that's sort of what happens. And that's
it did feel that it was super important. Like the clue was right there in front of you the whole time. But it was hard to piece together in this kind of like, because you're not given all the information, you're given enough snippets for you to make guesses. But those guesses don't really hold a lot of water.
Yeah, it's like just after playing that pre-prologue, like you don't really get what's going on. They still hide the mystery really well, but once you beat the game, it's like, okay, like it all makes sense all of a sudden. Yeah, it's I thought it was cool seeing the characters like in their normal outfits, and that sort of made me. We talked about this on Twitter like back when we started the game, but that's what sort of led me to believe that hey, maybe there's something up with like their ultimate abilities. Like maybe their ultimate abilities aren't their actual ultimate abilities. And because Monofany, because like she was tasked with like assigning their abilities, I was like, what if she messed them up? Like what if she mixed them up and there's something weird going on with their abilities here? But of course at that point those were all guesses. I
did have a lot of the same kind of thing. I was wondering if it was a process of like a new program to try and like see if people could be ultimates by like bringing out some kind of potential they didn't know they have, and like giving them a chance to master it, and it somehow got like taken over by Monokuma.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. That's I would argue that's a very viable theory.
Because they sounded so excited at the beginning. Every character is like, "Yes, I was selected."
Yeah. When
you
they brought
don't know what to do with that at first.
When they brought that back at the end of the game, like, again, that's just another thing that made it all make sense by that point. It's like, why the hell are these guys so excited to be in another killing game? But obviously by the end of the game, you find out why. And that's pretty much the pre-prologue. I mean, we get introduced to the what are they called? The Exisouls.
The Exisouls. That's such a weird name.
It is a weird name. I was wondering if that was like an anime reference.
That's not a Gundam. Those are like a power loader or a mech warrior, if you would.
They were pretty cool to introduce.
That's super cool.
Especially following up from Danganronpa 2, where each island was like guarded by the actual Gundams.
Yes.
So it was sort of nice to actually get to like see these like mechs up close this time, rather than just having them like in the draw distance, and that's all we really get to see of them. But do you have any other thoughts on the prologue, on the pre-prologue?
Pre-prologue, super fast. It was definitely super important, but by the time I finished the regular prologue, that where all the characters get reintroduced and are, told about the killing game, I kind of felt that doing 2 prologues back to back was a little like much for the start of a game.
You know what? I was intrigued by the mystery enough by that point to not really I would say going through everything again was a little monotonous, like specifically having Kaede explore through the classroom again. It's almost like the exact same dialogue verbatim from the pre-prologue.
Right. Getting some endless 8 flashbacks there.
Yeah, no kidding. But I didn't mind because like I knew it was gonna be part of the mystery and part of the story, and somehow by the end of the game it would be justified. And then once you get back into the gym and meet all the characters again, now with your ultimate abilities, it was pretty cool. Can we talk about Kaede's Sailor Moon transformation though?
I mean, what's to say other than that it's awesome?
I mean, that's what makes Danganronpa so great at the end of the day. The fact that, like, hey, here are these innocent kids playing in this killing game, but it still finds a way just to, like, have fun. Which, I don't know, maybe that comes off sadistic. Whatever. Yeah, but that's pretty much the pre-prologue.
Yeah, pre-prologue, prologue, hey, these are the characters, this is the world, this is Danganronpa. And guess what? The killing game continues.
That was pretty good.